to our top story this hour that 4 bodies have been recovered during the search for 4 teenagers who went missing on Sunday in Snowdonia in North Wales. Police have been giving an update in the last half an hour and they said it was a tragic accident and investigations are ongoing to establish the circumstances in which their car would have left the road. So we will be going back to our reporter Oliver Whitfield-Mircic. Meanwhile, Superintendent Owain Llewelyn said, at present, this appears to have been a tragic accident and our thoughts are with the family and friends of the 4 young men at this very difficult time. This has been an extensive search involving a number of different agencies and volunteers, and this is sadly not the outcome that any of us would have wanted. We would ask that the family be afforded the appropriate privacy and respect. Investigations are ongoing to establish the circumstances in which the car would have left the road, and that is what police have told us so far today. Obviously, our condolences are very much indeed with the families of those boys. This really is one of those stories that is agonisingly sad to report on, obviously, and it's one of those situations where you're hoping and hoping that the news that breaks is not this tragic news that 4 bodies have been found. So very sad and devastating news in Wales from the area around Snowdonia this afternoon. And these are 4 boys who left Shrewsbury. They're boys studying for their A-levels, aged between 16 and 17. And it was just meant to be a camping trip that was meant to be enjoyed by everybody. And obviously we're saying, what a nightmare for the parents and for the families. Let's go directly to our talkTV correspondent, Oliver Whitfield-Mircic, who's joining us live from the boys' hometown, Shrewsbury. Ollie, this is the worst possible news, the worst and saddest tidings.
Yeah, it really is. This is a very tight-knit community round here in Shrewsbury. We've just been speaking to some of the former pupils who went to this college, and they said it will be acutely felt by all of the students here. There is a police press conference currently taking place by North Wales Police, and we're hearing there from Superintendent Owain Llewelyn, who has said that the car was found upturned on its roof, partially submerged in water, and that the bodies of the 4 teenagers were found inside the vehicle. That will be the reason that we've seen so many of those vehicles today via the emergency services. The fire and rescue service of the local area has been spotted in attendance, along with a forensic collision vehicle from North Wales Police. There had been, I think, somewhat hope earlier on when air ambulances were spotted in the area and ambulances from the local ambulance service too, but unfortunately, and this sad, tragic news having now been confirmed, will send a shockwave through the local community here, but also through the valleys in North Wales around Snowdonia. 4 boys aged 16 and 17 who had gone on a camping holiday over the weekend had been expected to return here on Monday. Now, having been confirmed dead, their bodies found in that upturned car, which was partially submerged. And for the families of those young boys, this is honestly the worst possible outcome that they ever could have dreamt of. We'd heard earlier on in the day how the mother of one of the boys had taken to social media, urging people, pleading with them to share her posts so that people far and wide could see that the families were desperate for any sort of information. So far, we've had no update or statement from the college or from the local area MP, although I'm sure those tributes will shortly be paid. For the students here at the school, today they had a day off after a university open day yesterday, and the teachers were doing some sort of training exercises today. It'll be interesting to see whether the school will close its doors tomorrow, whether they will open them with some sort of psychiatric and emotional support for the students here, because it is horrible, horrible news whenever an educational establishment loses some of its students, especially in situations like this, where they were just about to step into that world of adulthood, will have just had their driving licenses turn into full driving licenses. And so, this really is a terrible, terrible day, as I say, not only for here in Shrewsbury, but up in North Wales too.
I mean, it certainly is. And Oliver, obviously you're standing there in the boy's hometown and we're showing on the screen your face as you report and then the four faces of these young boys. And they are so youthful. They're just, you can see them, just beginning to come into manhood. And as you're talking of their loss, it's almost impossible to reconcile that with their young, fresh, optimistic, smiling, eager faces. You're telling the story of what's happened, and at the same time, we're looking at these faces of four young men on the cusp of adulthood. And it's really difficult to make sense of something so devastatingly tragic because such young gentlemen, 16 and 17 years old only.
Yeah, that's right. And there had been reports that they had been spotted on top of a hill on Sunday, and then somebody had seen somebody dragging a tent down towards the car. Now, we do know at the time that the weather on Sunday in this part of Wales had been torrential rain. People had said that the weather had been absolutely atrocious, and so it is not clear whether they were trying to seek some shelter from that rain. Maybe they were packing up early to head back, and then the car has gotten into difficulties, has left the road and then been found upturned on its roof with the water coming into it. All of this, though, Vanessa, will form part of a thorough police investigation as they try to work out what exactly has led to the circumstances of the boys being found like this. We were only a few minutes ago speaking to an elderly couple who were walking their dog, and they spoke of their shock and their sadness at what had happened. And I think this is a sentiment we're going to see echoed right across Shrewsbury. Four young men who, as you say, were just about to go into adulthood to start a different adventure, now sadly confirmed dead by the authorities in North Wales.
Very sad indeed. Thank you very much, Oliver. And of course, as I've said already, I can't say it often enough, our deepest condolences to the families of those four young men.